It's so rewarding to see people who thought they never could actually succeed in doing it.
Hello, my name is Heather Clemens. I am the marketing consultant for the United Way of the Mark Twain area. The United Way Evening of Philanthropy is May 9th. It began in 2019 with a goal to honor community members who invest their time and talents in making our community better. The Evening of Philanthropy shares the stories of generous people who we hope inspire others. This podcast will feature interviews with the honorees who will be highlighted at this year's event. So my guest for this podcast is Donna Brown. She is the lifelong philanthropist for 2025. Donna is currently the office manager for Mount Olivet Cemetery, but she is also a retired Palmyra High School English teacher. For the past 20 years, Donna has taught GED and high-set classes to help hundreds of community members receive their high school equivalency diploma. For the past 10 years, Donna has been teaching these classes independently without any compensation and has built partnerships to ensure the program is available to community members in need. And we will be discussing that program more with Donna in our first question. So I should also probably mention, as an aside, that Donna has known me since birth.
My daughter by another mother.
She has been there for me during every phase of my life. So if you see a level of familiarity in this podcast, that's going to be why. So let's get started with that first question. Can you tell me a little bit more about the GED program and the high-set classes?
Well, let me tell you how I got started.
Okay.
I fought it at first. Joe Pettit, God bless him. Joe Pettit got me started. He was very insistent that he thought that I would be good working with, students wanting to get their high school equivalency. And I guess I just didn't want to have my feet mired down to a certain time every week. And, but I fought it. And finally, I decided to go check it out. And I ended up in a situation where Dura had just closed their doors and were in the process of it, and they did it over a 2-year span. Well, people who live in Hannibal and are of the age I am will know that Dura started out as RevCon during 1960s and the Vietnam War. And a lot of young people dropped out of high school in their junior and senior years to go to work for Dura or RevCon because they good benefits, good salaries, and it was a career that they could make out of it. And I walked into that GED classroom down at the Career Center, and there sat 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, let's dabble in a couple of 70-year-olds who never, ever thought that they would ever be without a job. And they weren't, the 40, 50-year-olds weren't of an age to even think about retiring yet. And they couldn't get a job in Hannibal or the surrounding area because all jobs then required that you had to have your high school equivalency. So anyway, I spent a couple of days down there, and finally on the third day I was down there, I walked into the room where there were probably 30 people. They had all carried in food and they were enjoying themselves. And I said, guys, what are we doing? What? And they were very blunt. They just said, how can we learn if we don't know what the books are talking about?
Right.
And that used to be the method, that you were tested, then you were given a book to study, and your progress was measured that way. There was actually no teaching. So I approached Joe Pettit, and I talked to the people, and I said, if I opened up, and I got permission from Mike Pipkin at Hannibal Housing Authority, that I could open up my classroom out there, would you come? And they all said yes. So the very first day I opened my doors at the Shirley Bomar Center, there were 45 people showed up.
Wow.
And that first group, all but one passed it. And then I had another 45, and then another 4. That went on for 2 years. And it's so rewarding to see people who thought they never could actually succeed in doing it. And then, to be quite honest with you, a lot of those people went on to work for Harris Corporation in Quincy. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them went on to, they were young enough that they went on to a vocational school, became electrical, I guess a smaller version of an electrical engineer, and went out and started their own businesses.
Wow.
That is what got me hooked. And since then, I've had over 400 students be successful from all walks of life.
And who inspires you?
A single father of a toddler who would get up at 5 in the morning and go out to Sunrise, I believe, trucking, and clean out the inside of milk trucks. Then watch, and they'd let him come in and come to class. And then he would come to class, study hard, and then turn around and go back and finish his job. That's encouragement. A single mother of 3, homeless, living in her van, yet she was at class every day. Those are the people that inspire me. There was a lady who worked for a company here in town since she was 16. And then when she was in her 50s, that company sold out, and the company that bought required all the employees to have their GED. God bless her.
Yeah.
She had to confess, I don't have my GED. And they gave her 3 months to get it. They would hold her job for 3 months, And she came, and she worked so hard, and she got it. But, that was demoralizing, having to confess to her coworkers and everyone else that she didn't have it. But yet then to have to come back and go to school. But, that inspires me. People who want something so badly and the sacrifices that they have to make. I worked with Rachel Bringer. She asked me if I would accept parolees, because she did not allow people to get off parole until they got their GED. And so I did, and I worked with several people who had been in prison and saw, the toughest people to work with were young people who had just dropped out of high school. Those 17, 18, 19, year olds. They haven't experienced enough life yet to realize how important it is to get it. So, the people that came in at an older age had fought that good fight of trying to get a job and trying to make the best and do. So, yeah. I think I'm rambling.
No, it's great. No, the situations and the people would definitely be inspiring.
Yeah. They're the story, not me.
Yeah.
They're the story.
Yeah, they would definitely be inspiring. So I'm going to close us out by saying thank you for your time today, but I also want to know if there are any other parting thoughts that you want to put out there before we end the podcast.
No, other than I just want everybody to know that my husband, my family, and people at the the ladies at the Alaska Methodist Church, they would give me money. And Prince Avenue Baptist Church took up a collection in Sunday school, and they gave me money. I will never forget those people. Never. And they provided for these people to become better parents, better workers, better and just better themselves because they got that feeling. So it's not me. It's all these people in the United Way that have helped with this GED program, and I so appreciate it. That's the biggest thing I want to say, my appreciation, and I'm honored to be recognized, but please, it's not just me.
Well, it definitely takes a community.
Yes.
For sure.
100%.
For sure. Well, thank you so much
Thanks
for talking with me today.
It was really tough, Heather.